Just as we had the relatively relaxing little consonants B and F after our heroic struggles with the vowels A and E, so now we have the jolly little letter J to follow the vowel I. The jolly little tune you heard was for the nursery rhyme Jack and Jill, which, however, like so many of its kind, has sinister historical implications and origins that are mercifully unknown to the little children who sing them, and to their parents for that matter.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
The word crown used to be used to mean simply the head, as well as the royal headgear that goes on top of it. And in this case it has both meanings. For Jack was King Louis XVI of France, who was beheaded in the French Revolution, thus losing his crown in both senses, as was his wife afterwards, Queen Marie Antoinette, who, when told that the people had no bread to eat, reputedly replied, "Then let them eat cake."
Listen now to an unusually simple opening sentence for this unusually simple letter, and then we'll be taken through it by Pandora and Bertie.
Jim enjoyed Jenny's jam. The letter J is delightfully uncomplicated, as it always sounds the same.
It has the same sound and is produced in the same way as the English soft G, and although we've already practiced this before, there is no harm in reminding ourselves how to make it.
You protrude your lips in a cartoon kiss and press the front of the top of your tongue hard against the ridge of the roof of your mouth, behind your top teeth, but without touching them.
Doing this will make the upper sides of your tongue press hard against the edge of your upper side teeth.
Then just drop your chin and tongue and let the air come out sharply from the back of your mouth and over your tongue as it drops.
Watch my lips and listen carefully. J, j, jam, joke, abject, rejoice.
Now you make the sound and say those words.
Quite a lot of names begin with J, both first names and surnames. Listen to some examples of first names.
Jacob, James, Jim, Jimmy, Jane, Janet, Jason, Jean, Jesus.
Geoffrey, Jeremy, John, Jack, Joan, Jonquil, Joseph, Joe, Julia, Julie, Justin.
And now we'll have some surnames. Jackson, Jacobs, James, Jeffreys.
Johnson, Jones, Joseph, Judge.
You will have seen and heard that some names like James and Joseph can be either given names or surnames.
Note also the nicknames or abbreviated intimate forms of first names, which are shown in brackets.
Now you say those names.
A few names can also be spelt with a soft G. The short form of the name Gillian is sometimes Jill and sometimes Jill.
Similarly, Geoffrey is sometimes spelt Jeffrey, and note the E which makes the G soft. Likewise, there are abbreviated forms Jeff and Jeff.
And here are some other words beginning with J. Listen carefully now.
Jacket,
Jackpot,
jail,
January,
jar,
jazz,
jealous,
jeopardize,
jerk,
jet,
jewel,
jig,
job,
joke,
join,
jolly,
journalist,
journey,
joyful,
judge,
jug,
juice,
jump,
junction,
junior,
junk,
jury,
jurisdiction,
just,
justice,
justify.
justification.
Now you say those words.
And here are some words in which the J comes after other letters. Listen again as we say them.
Adjective, adjust, adjourn,
Banjo, conjurer, inject, injection, injunction, injure, injury, injustice.
Major, majority, object, object.
Objection, abject, reject. Subject, subject, unjust.
Now you say those words.
And note how the stress changes to distinguish certain verbs from their nouns, as in subject and subject, object and object.
And now we'll practice our opening sentence. Listen to it again.
Jim enjoyed Jenny's jam.
Now you tell us about Jim's enjoyment of Jenny's jam.
Isn't it a nice change to find a letter with only one sound?
But as we mustn't make life too easy for you, we've made up a tongue twister to end on.
Listen to this little beauty.
The junior judge in the adjacent jurisdiction unjustly adjudicated the majority of the agitated adjutant's dubious objections.
We put in the word dubious to remind ourselves not to make the mistake of pronouncing that D as though it were J.
Keep the D1 sound unadulterated in all such words, and don't let a word like due sound like Jew.
Now you tell us about these judicial injustices before we go on to the letter K.